Testing. 1, 2. Yep, it works. I gotta start doing that now. Uh, so I put a video up yesterday again without any sound for the 1,000th time. Um, hey, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. Just woke up. Uh, Thank you so much for pointing that out, that the video didn't have sound on it. I went ahead and immediately deleted it. Uh, so today's kind of a big day for Eve. Um, Going forward, I'm going to have to just leave it like this. So until I see that bar flipping, from what I can tell, uh, something with my headset, um, if it's not plugged in, like if I, doesn't matter. Long story short, I just need to test it more, and I'm an idiot. Um, Welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. Today's a big day for Eve. If you don't know about it, there is a big test out on Sissy or Singularity. If you have access to that, it is the test server for Eve. If you don't know anything about it, I will um, give you a brief explanation as to how I know about it. I've never actually been on it, but when I used to play, um, uh, friends of mine used to test their ships out there and even test, they would get ready for alliance tournaments out there. Long story short, from what I understand, you have to have an Omega character, and then you can, and then every so often they bring over the updated characters that are from Eve into Sissy, and then you can do testing with them and help them out with testing new features. The new features currently involve, um, and I'm going to sneeze here. I think so. Try and hold it back because it is not pretty when I do. Uh, Long story short, the CCP is announced Uprising, and I think today they are doing a lot of the update with that. So if you want to check that out, it's over on Singularity. I'm sure there's some websites out for that. Um, I've never really gone over to Singularity at all. Maybe someday. I don't have enough time to play Eve as much as I would regularly want to, much less play a fake character over there. But if you're one of these guys who can play a lot, please feel free. Gonna sneeze. It's coming. Okay. Um, Second update in real life, in the video that I tried to post yesterday, which I'm going to show parts of today and kind of do a commentary over, because I want to have active play. But I did go on a trip yesterday and I got uh, some coffee on the way home and a new mug. So this is my new mug. I went to the Shady Maple Smorgasbord, and on the way back, I went to a local coffee shop called the the Copper Cup. It's two spots out here in central Pennsylvania. I'm going to start doing that a lot more. Um, Not rely on my Starbucks or Folgers or whatever. So this is the first taste of this. I just brewed my first cup of the, let's see here, the Copper Cup. And this is Passenger Coffee. It has notes Divino Nino from Divino Nino from Colombia, cherry, marzipan, and caramel. Caramel. Um, so let's try this out. There's nothing like the smell of a freshly ground cup of coffee. That's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not going to say I'm blown away, but I'm also not minding it too bad. I like my coffee most of the time black, maybe a little bit of cream, but this is black. So maybe you can check things out. Yeah, the video before yesterday had a lot of fun making. I want to do a few more of those, not just randomly once every couple months. I had a lot of fun making the video asking for the coffee mug from CCP. I have not heard back from them yet. I'll give you random updates about that. So, other updates. Uh, so as far as the new expansion Uprising, I will give you a suggestion if you would like it. Actually, that's another suggestion there that I wanted to do that I forgot about. Um, so long story short, let's pull it down here. I can't see up there. Good, good, good. Let's see how many skill points I get for free today. It's always a fun one. 15,000. Okay, cool. Um, so if you want to learn a decent amount about the new update, Ashtarothi actually just did a couple days ago a really good video on it. I got about 30 minutes into it. I learned a lot, and then I realized I didn't want to watch more of it because I didn't want to learn too much, because I want it to be um, more of a uh, more of I want to play and learn more about it like I do with almost everything with Eve. So if you want to, this is Astrorothy's site. If you want to learn more about it, you notice it's called. It came out 2 days ago, and it's The Empires Need You for Uprising. Really good video. I watched, as you can see here, I watched about um, maybe 30 minutes of it here, but it goes over a lot of stuff. I'm going to try to keep away from watching any more of it because I want to experiment myself and be part of the game. I don't want to read the cliff notes. And then once I do it for a while, maybe I'll go back and read up on stuff. That's what I like to do. Another video that I found yesterday. I have not flown drones very often, but this just popped up on my stream. This was done back on September 22nd. It's done by Lorimirth Gaming. And this was a pretty good video on drones. It doesn't cover every last thing, um, but it was a short enough video. I think it was about 10 minutes long. And if you are wanting to learn maybe a few special things about drones, um, he gives 10 years of drone boat tips. So things he's learned. He's flown drone boats. He's flying a Dominix in this video. But he explains a decent amount of stuff there, and reminded me of back when I used to play when I just basically only flew drone boats. So if you want to check out that video, it was pretty cool. Um, the last one in its video that just came out, I think this morning, was the Talking in Stations, where they actually interview Ashtarothi, not Ashtarothi, Hateless. And I'm about 20 minutes into that video, and I kind of turned it off because the video before that, the week before, they talked about griefing, ganking and griefing. They talked with Safety Dot, and then today they were talking about Asheroth. I keep messing it up. Hateless and why he quit streaming. If you want to watch that, it's out there. I'm done with it. I see both sides. I'm not a huge fan of griefing, but I understand why people like to do it. It's not something that I would like to do, like I don't like mining, or even gank. And I'm ganking and griefing are different. But if you want to watch both of those videos, um, I think they're kind of instructional as far as if you want to ever try either one. I'll be honest, when it originally came out, I was on the hateless side. I'm not a big fan of griefers in general, not in Eve, in real life in general. I think there's people out there in the world who have fun doing things like griefers do, and it's not something that I like to do. But I'm as honest as I can be watching the 20 minutes of Talking in Stations today with him. Some of his complaints, I understand why, but uh, I didn't like some of his some of his fixes for it would take away from, in my mind, the heart of Eve. Now, if you could fill those in, yeah, talking about maybe, and these were just ideas that he was throwing out there of alpha pilots not being able to shoot um, uh, PvP, having a safe area where new players can just hang out at. My own personal 10 years ago um, way I went about, and when I got ganked as a minor, um, it didn't force me to move out to nullsec into an alliance, but it promoted the idea of that as an option, and I did. I didn't move out there because I was being ganked. I wasn't being griefed at the time. Again, there's two different differences there. But it gave me another option, and it kind of nudged me out. And if you've watched any of my videos, I'm a big fan of getting out of high sec and going into low sec and null sec. And this, in my mind, the idea of having a safe area for newer players could be uh, uh, bastardized, or that's a bad word. Could be used in a uh, as an advantage. People are going to always figure out a way to use that for themselves, and then you just create another ball of worms. Um, so, uh, on the now, if you're being griefed on a personal level, not within Eve, but if they're going after you outside of Eve, if they're harassing you outside of Eve, 100%, I think they should be banned. Um, if all the information comes out. Um, and it's just something that I don't enjoy. But I didn't really like some of the suggestions that he had. And to be honest with you, I hadn't had my coffee yet, so I was cranky. Um, and so maybe I'll watch the rest of the video. Maybe I won't, because I wanted to go play. So let's go play. Let's stop talking about this because I'm done with it. And unfortunately, I just brought it up, and it'll probably come up in the whole chats and whatever. The way I play, it's very hard to grief me because I have three different characters and three different styles going all over the place, and I might even make a fourth one. Um, I'm really debating on that. So, um, really quickly, so yesterday I had made a video. I had been able to find a wormhole to HiSec. I was able to get to Jita. It was literally only 5 jumps outside of Jita. A brief synopsis of it. Actually, let's just go ahead and pull it up here so I don't forget anything. And then I'll show you. Is that it there? Yeah, I think that's it. Yep, here I am. That's me talking a lot, and you can't hear me. So this was me. I had just come out of a wormhole. I landed in Sankissen, and it turned out it was only 5 jumps away from Eve. Oh, you can't actually see my picture, can you? Yeah, so there I am talking right there. And this is me here. See, I do change my clothes every once in a while. Um, so, long story short, I went to look to see where the closest trade hub was to try to. I might as well. Probably annoying for you to see my face twice. It's only enough to see my face once. Um, this is so weird having one cursor and then there we go. Let's put that over the top there. Uh, volume's still working. Good. um, so long story short, I was able to go to Jita, buy some blueprints that I was looking for, um, and get back. And while I was in Jita, I went over a couple of different facts. Jita being a trade hub, I overpaid for some of the BPOs that I was getting. Um, anything that was and most of it, there were low level BPOs. Everything was regularly under a million ISK. Sometimes they paid up to 2 million. because I went through the whole idea of an example of, let's say you're a hermit who lives on the mountain and only comes down to town once every 3 months, because you don't like people. So you go to the closest supermarket that's there, and it might even be just a Unimart around the corner. And that Unimart is going to be selling things for a lot higher price than your local warehouse store. But you don't want to go through the hassle of getting to that warehouse store, dealing with the management to get that card, because you're only going to be there every so often. So I overpaid a little bit for each one of the blueprints because that's how and I don't have any problem with that. And then I was able to get those things. Um, and I went through each one of the blueprints, and the ones that I did buy and didn't buy. Um, and so that's a little bit of a miss here, but I can go over that later on whenever I'm doing the fitting. And then the flying back, saving your wormholes to go into wormhole space and then get back into NPC nullsec. So I kind of wish I would have been able to post this video, um, but I wasn't able to. So, or I did, and then it was pointed out, and I apologize to the 10 guys who tried to pull up the video. I'm betting it was like 5 guys who pulled it up twice. And one guy pointed out that there was no sound, so hopefully that's fixed now. Um, what I'd like to do now is uh, basically just go over the blueprints that I did get yesterday, since there is no sound, and just show you what I got and kind of why I got it. This is all stuff that I brought out to Stain. Nothing special. Long story short, I picked up 2 sets of Imperial Navy drones. I did not go with the higher level drones, or medium or heavy drones yet, where they're more expensive, because I don't have the best drone skills with Amanda Rose, and they become targets, whereas your smaller drones are tougher to hit. So I went ahead and grabbed those, but at the same time, I went and grabbed a hammerhead and a infiltrator blueprint copies or blueprints originals, and brought those out because they do both thermal and EM damage, which is what I'm shooting guys with out here. So those, I can now produce those and start messing around with some medium drones before I start investing in higher level medium drones. I also picked up 2 mobile tractor units. If I'm going to start doing some cosmic anomalies out here, I grabbed 2 of those just to use those for a little bit. The idea there is when you do an anomaly, you kill everything in the site, you drop the mobile tractor unit, and then you move on to the next anomaly. And you kill everything there, and you drop the mobile tractor unit. You fly home, you pick up a freighter, and you fly out, or something that can scan, uh, that can salvage, and not a freighter, a industrial ship, and pick up all the junk, because it's all grouped around that mobile tractor unit. So I may do videos on that. The one thing you have to be careful of with that is mobile tractor units are scannable. So you, if you're not living in an alliance area, you don't want to do it too often. So I may use them, I may not. The big purchases that I made, oh, 2 other small purchases, and I'll get into the big purchases. Picked up the medium multi-frequency uh, crystal blueprint, because I haven't gotten a whole lot of those off of the rats out here. Everything else I've been able to get regular, so I can use those. That's kind of your base blast you in the face crystal to do the most damage. Still going to mess around with the other crystals. And then I also picked up a Miasmos blueprint, um, which is your Galente industrial ship that carries uh, uh, minerals and ore, if I'm not mistaken. And this is for being able to do 2 things. Number one, if I run into I want to build one so that if I run into the random NPC um, rats, the mining ships out in the belts, that I can pick up the ore that they drop. Um, the second one being that I'm slowly accumulating a lot of minerals and ores out here that I don't need. Um, uh, with my ratting, I'm melting the stuff down and building ships. But the extra I might be able to haul back to HiSec and sell there if I want to. I get a pretty decent penny for that. So that's my secondary, and I just wanted to have one of these. It wasn't too expensive. um, the bonus, so the big thing are the rigs here, and I'll pull these down. First off, I did get some defensive rigs. Some are very normal, and some are uh, they're for armor repair. Long story short, um, the thermal and the EM are just boosts to um, my thermal and EM damage resistance. I'm going to try those out, do those as tests. I have built up a huge amount of salvage in this station, so I can really try out a bunch of these. Um, Also picked up the armor pump, the nano pump, and the accelerator, nanobot accelerator. Now, long story short on these, the nanobot accelerator, here we go. It um, reduces the ship's armor repair cycle duration, expensive, and increased power grid. Now, this is important. There's reducing the cycle time, and then these are three very different ones that I think I really want to test out. Don't need that, go away. So you got the one that does the cycle, then you have the one that is designed to increase the ship's repair amount. Okay, so these are kind of the same thing, but not. I'll talk about that. And then the third one here, I did it again. Show info. The last one here is to increase my armor hit points. So this, I can either go total armor hit points increase or increase my resistances there. So those kind of are the in-betweens. Or I could do a even up because usually my EM damage is higher right off the bat. So I could go with a armor tank, more armor hit points, and the reinforcement. The big thing I wanted to talk about was these two, and it's one thing that I want to really test out. So the Nanobot Accelerator increases the rate that your repair is going. So you're getting more, uh, it's like your rate of fire on your gun. It's very similar to that. Versus the auxiliary nanopump increases the amount per cycle that you're able to repair. So it's more um, quality wise versus more quantity wise. Now, the big thing here is how much does the nanobot accelerator repair more over the same period of time than the nanopod, the nano pump? Because if it doesn't, then the nano pump to me is more worthwhile because when you're increasing the speed of your repair, you're also increasing the use of your capacitor. So it better do more stuff or more repairing for the other. So a lot of stuff I can check out there. And then I also picked up three other blueprints. And I'm kind of just going over these because I did it in the video where I actually went through a list of different blueprints that I didn't buy. A, either they were overpriced, or B, for what they were going to do, or B, I just didn't need them at the time. But I got a same thing on the same side in a medium energy burst aerator versus a collision accelerator. Collision accelerator does more damage. Same thing. Aerator increases your rate of fire. So very similar to these two guys here. Um, and I'm kind of going through this because to people have yelled at me to get my at least get some rigs on my ship, because I'll do a lot more for you, especially for PvE. And then we'll check out the last one here. I got the medium capacitor control circuit, um, and that uh, will increase the ship's capacitor recharge rate. There are some rigs out there that increase the size of your capacitor, um, but those were either not available or way too expensive for what I was wanting to buy them for there. My last thing here is, um, and I'm kind of wanting to end this video quickly so I can play and then maybe do another video tonight. Uh, I know a lot of guys wake up and they just listen to me talk, which is kind of crazy to me. I actually want to try this coffee again. Not a big fan of flavored coffee. This is like I'm you get the pumpkin spice coffees and the French vanilla coffees. I don't like that. I like black coffee. Here's my problem. This is obviously made well, and it's not a flavored coffee, but that whole idea of having hints of blah 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 is bothering me a little bit. Now I don't know if that's similar to whenever you have a really good scotch for the first time or a really good um, beer for the first time, and then as you drink it as it goes along, and by the time you get to the end of the cup, you really like it. I don't dislike this, but it's not making me come back to it. I just talked for like 15 minutes without coming back, so this isn't bad. Really good little company, two little shops, and the girl behind the counter was cool. Um, my only other thing too was I wasn't sure how long this had been sitting there. So, but good place, good place. The Copper Cup in Brickenstown, something to that effect. Um, so, uh, I was going to talk about a last thing. Dang it. Do you ever hear clicking going on in the background? Used to play a lot of online poker way back in the day for years, and I actually keep chips on the side that I've ever since then. I still keep them on the side here and click them. Um, shoot. See, that's why this coffee's bad. It got me to forget what I was going to talk about. I know I'm going to end the video with, oh, well, one of the things. So I have a third slot. I don't think this is what I was going to talk about, but I have a third slot um, for my Omega account. And I've really been debating, because I like Amanda Rose being out here in Nullsec and being able to test things with her and doing things and living out here. And then I've got William Pilgrim. He is completely set up with this cheetah. I really haven't felt the need to have him skill. I have him skilling up in some things, but I don't have anything. I've really thought about diving into this whole faction warfare from the beginning, and it may even start later on tonight with that third character and go from the very start. Do it as a new, not a new player, but somebody who's trying out faction warfare for the first time, and to try to uh, chronologize his progress through it, and maybe do an episode with him every couple of days or her. Really thinking about it, and I might just go down that road, but we'll see. Uh, I know there was something else, but that'll just give me. I'm sure once I end the video, I'll remember it. Um, yeah. All right. That's enough. Cool. Um, I'll probably make another video tonight. Alrighty, guys. Fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however you want, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great one. Bye bye.